What's up, YouTube? This is Boxingwave, and we are back with another fight breakdown. A real quick one, okay? Next weekend, Saturday, November 26th, live on the Zone, around 2 p.m. Eastern. This card begins. We have Nathan Gorman against Fabio Wardley, and this is going to be for the British heavyweight title, right? This is going to be on the undercard of Dillian White against what's his name? Jermaine Franklin. My bad. And I will be giving you guys that breakdown in the very next video that I do. All right. But this is going to be on the undercard. All right. And this is a good fight. I like the fight. I've been watching both fighters for a while now. And I think it's definitely a good step up for Fabio Wardley. Okay. This is definitely by far his best opponent to date. And, it's a good test. I mean, they're both, Fabio's 26 years old. He's 14 wins, 13 knockouts, no losses on his record. I think he's been fighting pro since 2017. He's 6'5" in height. He has a 78-inch reach. And you have Nathan Gorman, who's 19 wins, 13 by knockout. Only one loss to Daniel Dubois. All right. He's 27 years old. He's been pro since 2015, I believe. All right. He's 6'4.5" in height, 73-inch reach. All right. And, outside of his defeat, he's been fighting the same level of opposition, as Fabio Wardley up to this point. They both been in there with some good, solid journeymen. I know they have an opponent in common, and Richard Larte, I believe. All right, they're both orthodox fighters, and they're both good fighters. This is a good, solid matchup, and I'm looking forward to seeing this on the undercard of the Dillian White Jermaine Franklin fight. All right, so look, this is how I look at it. It's going to be a real quick breakdown. When I look at Nathan Gorman, one thing that really stands out is how well he can box on the back foot. He looks very, very comfortable being on the ropes. Having his back to the ropes, and he's good at defensively. He seems to be a little bit more polished defensively. Maybe not as athletic as Fabio Wardley, but he seems on the defensive edge like he roll punches a little bit better. He slips a little bit better. I think he just is more of a counter puncher. Okay. The one punch that stand out is his check left hook. He throws it perfectly, great timing, leans back when he does it. Good, very good for these like front foot heavy guys like a Daniel Dubois, aggressive guys like Richard Larte. He wasn't able to stop him in the fight, but he was able to beat him just about every round. And I just think he's a good boxer. He's solid power, not a huge puncher, but he has a pretty decent amount of KOs. But it seems like the better fighters that he fought seem to go the distance with him. All right. And then you have Fabio Wardley, who's the more athletic fighter. I think he has quicker hands. I think he's just overall just a more athletic fighter. I just think that he's a little bit more versatile. He has a little bit more of a punch variations, more combinations, and probably the bigger puncher between the two, just basing on their resumes. He's more likely to get most of these guys out of here pretty early. Okay. And I think the biggest flaw with him is really his defense. Even though he's able to slip and move pretty well, I think he is an easy target for right cross. All right. I think the way he slips shots, he puts himself in a bad position a lot. Not always, but I noticed like when he slips, especially to his right, or he, leans over to his right or ducks to his right, sometimes, it's good for slipping a jab, but not so good with the right hand that might be coming behind. And I've seen in a lot of these fights, maybe he'll level up in this fight because, maybe he's fighting at the level of his opponents, and maybe he's not as concerned. But if you look at his fights against Martz and Eric Molina, just watch the way his opponents throw the right hand and watch the way he slips. Sometimes I think he slips, and because he has a low guard, I see that he doesn't really protect himself for the right hand that might be coming after. So when he slips to his right, instead of rolling under the punch, sometimes he just leans back or he just stays there and he can get hit with the right cross. And I think that is going to be a big problem. Maybe not so much right now because he's not fighting guys with big power. And I don't even think Nathan Gorman is a huge puncher. But you never know. I mean, these are heavyweights, and if Nathan ends up landing a really clean right hand, you never know with Fabio Wardley. I don't know how good of a chin he has. I know he did get caught with a good shot by Eric Molina in that fight. I don't know if he got caught or knocked down in any other fight. I don't think so, but he just got to be a little bit careful with the way that he slips and avoids the right hand. I think if you're gonna slip to the right, either have his glove up or at least take a step back from it. And kind of reminds me of what we just saw in a recent fight with Montana Love, where he tries to slip and lean back, but he was right on the ropes, and there was no real room, no space for him to lean back, and he got caught with that right hand by Stevie Spark. Also reminds me of Tyson Fury, who's a very good, he's very, very good at the heavyweight level at slipping. For a big man, he's able to, he's so elusive. He's able to slip shots and roll under punches and stuff. He does it so well. But if you looked at the 12th round in that first Deontay Wilder fight, he slipped, he leaned over to the right, but he was still in that danger zone where he got hit with the right hand and then the left hook that came up after, and he got caught there. And when I see Fabio Wardley, I see him making that mistake as early as the first round, being that he has his guard low for most of the time. I think that's the real thing that stood out when I was watching him as far as like defensive holes in his game. But overall, I do think he's the bigger puncher. I do think he's the faster fighter. I think he is just a little bit more dangerous at this point, at this stage of his career. But if he's not careful, I can see him kind of getting exposed here in this fight against Nathan Gorman, who is a very good counter puncher, who is very comfortable fighting on his back foot and setting up those traps. All right. The thing is with Nathan Gorman, even though he has a very good check left hook, I think he has a good jab. I do think he's a good boxer overall, but he doesn't have anything that's like really, really dangerous, something that you got to really worry about. He's just a very good boxer. And for the most part, I think on a higher level, as he continues in his career, I think he is just going to get outworked, or he just, once I'm talking about fighting on the upper scale heavyweights, if he is to get in the ring with future guys, I can just see him being outworked. Because even though he's a good boxer, there's nothing special about him. Yes, he has a good check left hook, but not a lot of power behind it. You saw that in the Danny Dubois, who was able to just keep walking right through him. All right, and just keep delivering that 1-2 and just being more physical than Nathan Gorman. I don't see anything about his inside game that's really, really special. And neither is Fabio Wardley. I don't really see him on that side. That's really good. But Fabio has very quick hands, good power, has quick step in, step backs, and he's pretty good, mobilely moving and stuff like that. So I think overall, I think Fabio is slightly at this point, at this stage, I think he's slightly the better the better talent, but I don't think he just beats Nathan Gorman like the way he's been beating all his other opponents. You never know. Maybe with this fight here, he levels up in this fight here, and maybe we can see the really like the best of him. But I see this fight going to decision. I do think Fabio Wardley is going to do a better work overall and get the win, secure the win in the decision. But I don't think that Wardley can really do what like Daniel Dubois did against Nathan Gorman. I think that the fight is going to go the distance. I know he's been knocking everybody out. Every fight that he's had, except his pro debut, he stopped every single person. But in this fight here, I think Nathan Gorman is probably going to slow down the pace and make Fabio think a little bit more when he's just kind of like lunging in and everything like that. So I think it should be a solid boxing fight, and I think it's gonna go the full distance. And I'm picking Wardley to win this one. All right, probably by decision. All right. So anyway, subscribe to the channel again. Please smash the like button if you like the content. I'm still on a stage. I'm fixing everything up. I actually have a new mic coming on the way, and I just got a new computer here, so I'm still trying to work everything out. But everything's coming along pretty well. All right. So hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.